Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast, where we provide you with your weekly diagnosis of everything fantasy football. Whether it's season-long leagues, dynasty, DFS, or sometimes even IDP, we got you covered all year long. Let's do it. Let's get to it. Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast. I'm your host, Sean June. And we're back because I got my guy, Greg Penniman. Greg, we're not challenged by any technical difficulties today, so we're back together again. How's it feel?
It's feeling good. I mean, off a pretty solid week for me. I'm, doing really well. 5-2 in the leagues. Definitely could have used the win in one of the leagues, but in the League of Extraordinary People, first place, going through, a lot of these getting ready for the playoffs, man. We got what, three regular season weeks left, or four regular season weeks left. 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah. So crazy, man. Final stretch. We got to get in the playoffs. Let's do this.
Yeah, man. I mean, the League of Extraordinary People is real tight. I mean, you're in first place. I'm in third. I'm 2 games behind you, but I made a trade with the player in 11th place today.
Trade like 15 ads in a row, something crazy like going on here. Commissioner, his compilers, you have to check that out over there.
Hey man, I wanted to go pick up Latavius Murray. I made the realization that I was like, oh, Will Fuller would be a nice, because I traded 2 receivers away in Cortland Sutton and Corey Davis. I was like, Will Fuller would be a nice, guy to add to my bench, and we have injured reserve spots. I had an extra spot available, so I dropped Latavius Murray, picked up Will Fuller, and then put him to my IR spot, and picked up Latavius Murray again. So, and I might need Latavius Murray depending on see what happens with Elijah Mitchell. So we'll see. I don't know, but basically what I was saying was 11th place is 2 games behind me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how. It's always like this, but like I feel like every time I see it, it's insane that you can win 1 game and jump 4 or 5 spots in our league.
And it's a little unconventional in the League of Extraordinary People, but we do it because it actually feels like it makes it almost more competitive. But 12-team league, but we have 8 playoff spots.
Tough.
It's absolutely crazy. It's a bloodbath trying to get into the playoffs because it's so competitive.
Yeah.
Teams 1 through 12, and then you may think, oh well, that's not as competitive. But guess what? Those first and second place teams, they're playing in week 1, in round 1 of the playoffs,
and losing in week 1 usually, or week 2. Like the 1 and 2 seed never wins in our league. Also, yeah, I mean we gonna need some awards for this 1 seed. I'm just saying, not because I'm the 1 seed, but because it's hard being the 1 seed and not getting the bye. You gotta get something.
This is true. I mean, that's why if you play for money, you got something on the line. Maybe you get first place, get a little some, which we do have in our League of Extraordinary People. So don't worry, Greg. You hold on to it. You will be blessed. But speaking of blessed, we got to bless the people with this fantasy goodness. It's week 11. Like you said, we got 4 weeks left. We have to get in here, man. We have to.
Yes, sir.
Again, it doesn't matter what your record is. It doesn't matter what kind of team you have. All that matters is you got to go 1-0 every week, all the way through the fantasy playoffs and to a chip. And once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. So you never know. So with that being said, obviously it's Wednesday night here for us, but we are going to break down Thursday Night Football as the Atlanta Falcons take on the New England Patriots. But we also will give out our streams of the week here. And so, Greg, I will start with you. Who's your quarterback stream of the week?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a rare Thursday night quarterback stream of the week. I gotta go with Mac Jones. He's going against Atlanta. He's 39% rostered, but if he's available, if you need a quarterback, I think he's a great add for this week. Going against Atlanta with the amazing matchup. You saw what Dak did to them last week. I don't want to go too in depth about Mac Jones because I'm about to go in on him in the Thursday night podcast, the Thursday night section. But he's coming off probably his best game of his young career. So I think with the matchup and with the play. He's got his receivers rolling. He's able to also put Stevenson and Bowden in some pass catching situations. So yeah, I like Mac Jones in this situation.
Yeah, man. You can't go wrong with Kraft's mac and cheese, man. So gotta love that. But hey, man, if you can't get Mac, I like Mac backwards, which is Cam Newton.
Ooh.
36% rostered in Yahoo leagues. Going up against Washington. Cam is back last week in limited playing time. Scored 2 touchdowns on 2 plays. Obviously, not expecting that level of performance every play or every week, but the matchup is nice here against Washington defense that we've targeted all year. And they just lost Chase Young on defense. I know they gave Tom Brady some trouble last week, but Cam's a different kind of quarterback, so he's a top streaming option for me this week, assuming he starts.
Yeah, you gotta love that. Hopefully he gets that start, and just glad he's back to give Carolina maybe a little wild card push.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Greg, who is your tight end stream of the week this week?
It's crazy. I mean, honestly, either week I can go back and forth between Dan Arnold or Tyler Conklin. This week I'm gonna just take Dan Arnold because just he's 30, but just know Tyler Conklin is always the option. He's 36% rostered. Both, Dan Arnold's been a top 10 tight end for the past 5 weeks. PPR tight end 10. He should be rostered in the majority of leagues, honestly, season long. As he's going to continue to be targeted in this offense. He just got there. Speaking of that Carolina push, Cam does like to throw to the tight end position. So yeah, I like Dan Arnold in this situation.
Greg, you just got to twist it in your head a little bit.
Oh man,
Dan Arnold is in Jacksonville now.
Jacksonville,
I see what you was trying to do, man.
I know.
I got you, bro. I got you. No, but Dan Arnold, gotta love it. We've been pounding the drum for him. I know since the day that he was traded, I said, "Hey, Dan Arnold, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence loves to target that tight end." So yeah, we got to get that rostership up for both these guys, Dan Arnold and Tyler Conklin. My tight end stream of the week, I did not want to go with the Conklin Dan Arnold route because I feel like we've just been doing it every week.
They're just there. They need to be just rostered over 50%.
That's on the people, honestly.
Yeah, facts.
Really, I'm gonna go with CJ Uzomah though. Going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. He's got 4 targets in each of his last 2 games. At least 4 targets each of his last 2 games. He's got 3 touchdowns in his last 4 games, and he gets the Las Vegas Raiders defense that's allowing 19 PPR points to opposing tight ends over their last 3 games. Obviously, he's attached to Joe Burrow, so we like that. This game has a decently high total, so we like that. CJ Uzomah, he's my tight end stream of the week.
Yeah, I like that for sure.
Greg, your defensive stream of the week.
My defensive stream of the week, I'm going with Carolina's defense, going against Washington, a team that has been getting a lot of sacks. They're one of the best teams against the rush, so they're not going to get too killed in that aspect. I mean, AG did come off a pretty solid game, but I think they'll at the very least get to Taylor Heinicke, get to the quarterback, and create some opportunities for their defense.
Yeah, I like that one. They definitely crossed my mind for sure. This one, I was actually surprised that I was surprised that after I did some digging, and I was surprised that they're still available, but it's Green Bay Packers, 35% in Yahoo leagues. They've been a pretty solid defense as of late. Actually, over the last 5 weeks, Greg, would you want to guess where they rank as a defense?
I'm going to go with 4.
They're actually 3rd, but good guess. And that includes their last 3 games in which they've played the likes of Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, and Kyler Murray. And they got Kyler Murray for basically that whole game up until the last play where he was injured. So, 35% rostered. They're looking like a gem right now. The schedule is not overly great, but they got Minnesota this week. They got the Rams next week, and then they're on bye. But it's not scary after that. So I definitely like them as potentially even a rest of season defense.
Yeah, and they're doing this, especially you say rest of the season. They're doing this without Jay Alexander, that probably their best defensive player. So they're going to get him back and just be even better.
100%. Greg, let's move on to the game, man. And we've got the 6-4 New England Patriots headed to Atlanta to take on the 4-5 Atlanta Falcons. This game has a 47-point total. The New England Patriots are 6.5-point favorites here. In terms of the game, in terms of the weather injuries, there's no weather concerns. This game is in a dome, so hooray there. In terms of injuries, Cordell Patterson, running back, wide receiver, Mr. Everything for the Atlanta Falcons. He's dealing with an ankle sprain, questionable. He basically missed the entire second half of the game against Dallas, and he got a limited practice in. At first, it was kind of iffy of whether he was going to play or not. It seemed unlikely, but then he got in the limited practice, so that's like somewhat good news. I'd be surprised if they let him play in this one, though. You could sit him out, get 10 days rest here with the mini bye week playing on Thursday night, and plus you're playing on a short week. So, I mean, we'll see. He's a game time decision, so we'll see what happens. But it would be tough to trust him. Hayden Hurst, he's out with an ankle. Darren Bates, linebacker, he's out with the groin. Cornerback Kendall Sheffield, he's out. Center Josh Andrews, he's out with COVID. He's on the COVID IR. And then on the New England side, Josh Uche, edge rusher, he was put on IR with an ankle injury. And then Jonnu Smith's dealing with a shoulder injury that he's questionable with now, but it kept him out of the game last week against the Cleveland Browns. So we'll have to see how that affects him going forward, or especially as we look ahead to this game here. But Greg, where are you at with this matchup? What's the fantasy matchup looking like, and who do you have to cover the spread here?
I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna take New England to cover. I'm gonna take New England to win. On New England side, again, Mac Jones, my stream of the week. He's definitely in that streaming conversation, coming off his best week, arguably in his young career again. Season high completion percentage at 82.6%. 2 of the last 4 weeks, he's been in QB top 10 QB, so he has a favorable upside and good matchups. Atlanta is one of the best matchups you'll get. You saw what Dak did to them. Basically, got all his production in that first couple quarters. So I do like Mac Jones in this matchup. The running back rules are the same. Damian Harris off the injury report, so he's starting. I think there's no reason why he wouldn't get the same usage he was getting before, 15 to 20 carries. He's a high in RB2 for me. With some RB1 upside, if getting multiple touchdowns. Harris is, not going to be banged up. He's off the injury report. So Stevenson, I think he's earned himself some carries, but 10 at most, if anything. This is a New England team still likes to run the ball, and Brandon Bolden's that James White role, PPR, RB3, RB4 range. Let's see how Harris and Stevenson are together healthy. If Stevenson can get some work. Obviously, if I like Mac Jones, I do like their receivers, Kendrick Bourne and Jacoby Myers. I see both as wide receivers.
I like how you just changed his name to Mike Jones. I'm with it, though.
Mike Jones. Yeah, Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers. Shout out to Jacoby Myers getting that first touchdown. Wide receiver 3s, I think, for them. One of them, I think, has a wide receiver 2 upside. I think you can see Jacoby Myers maybe start scoring touchdowns now, so that'd be nice to see. And Hunter Henry, he's been feasting in the end zone as well. Definitely with Jonnu Smith still being a little banged up, I would start him up. On the Atlanta side, back to fading Matt Ryan. I'm not with it. Definitely not in this matchup in general. He's definitely coming back to being that QB bust of the year, especially if there's no Cordell Patterson. If there's no Cordell Patterson, I can't trust this offense as a lot, except Kyle Pitts. And we already know Belichick's gonna. If there's no Cordell, it's like all the focus is going to be on taking away Kyle Pitts. You're forced. I think I'm not going to bench Kyle Pitts, but just know that it could be a big thing. I think if I got a really good matchup, that's the only reason. But I'm not sitting the talent of Kyle Pitts.
Dan Arnold or Kyle Pitts?
Ooh. Oh man. Yeah, that's tough. I think I'm gonna take Dan Arnold.
It's just because Dan, what
I know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get a low end tight end one performance. I'm gonna get like 8 to 12 fantasy points, and I'll take that. I just want a safe floor. Like I don't want a low under 5-point day.
Like what Hawk did to us last week.
Oof. Oh, one target.
Bro, don't even get me started.
Oh man.
Yeah, so for me here, I'm sorry, I don't even know what you took with the game.
Oh, the over, New England to cover and New England to win. Yeah.
I'm going to take the under, New England to cover, New England to win. Now I kind of feel stupid taking the under because I feel like I should take the over. Looking at like Atlanta giving up 43 last week and like Cleveland or the Patriots scoring 45 this week, you're like, oh wow. I'm still going to take the under here though.
Yeah.
New England against this to cover the spread here, New England to win this game. I just think, New England's going to be the better team here. I mean, they're just going to come out. They know what Atlanta wants to do. They're going to stop them from doing it.
Yep.
No Cordero Patterson definitely hurts. In terms of on the New England side, they're going to be able to, pass the ball against this weak Atlanta defense. And they're going to find a way to physically impose their will in the run game. So on the Atlanta side, I totally agree with your assessment. Kyle Pitts, I'm only putting him in my lineup because since week 4, I have not moved Kyle Pitts out of it. So
as you shouldn't. He's the tight end 5 on the year. He's doing what he has to do. Like he's been everything and more.
So I'm not gonna look to do anything crazy there, but yeah, I mean, if Dan Arnold is there, and let's put it this way, if your matchup is really tight and you're like, yo, I need, I can't get a 0 from my tight end here, I can't get single digits from my tight end, then we'll go make that move to Dan Arnold. But
if Cordell's playing though, I'm playing Kyle Pitts. I need Cordell to also play.
Yeah, that would definitely help. I mean, if Cordero plays though, I don't even what if it's one of those where he's active?
Yo, this is his career year. He doesn't want to miss a game, man. He's gonna try to play.
But you're gonna play to then miss 2 games or be ineffective. Just take the time. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm probably gonna shy away from him unless I absolutely need him, which in some cases I definitely do. So Wayne Gallman though is definitely a consideration for me. I mean, 62.5% of the running back rush share last week. Had 15 carries that led the team. I think he's definitely in play to get some work here against a New England run defense that's not all that great. They're 27th in rush EPA on early downs over these last 3 weeks, 23rd on the year. So there could be some. We saw Deandre Johnson run for almost 100 yards last week. I think there's some opportunities here for Wayne Gallman if he can get the work. Which if Patterson's out, I think he will. On the New England side, Mac Jones, your quarterback stream of the week. I definitely like him, and he's definitely got that upside that you look for. The only thing is New England, throws the ball 40% of the time over the last 3 weeks in neutral game script. If this game gets out of hand, don't know how many total attempts he'll have. Not expecting much from Matt Ryan. I'm with you. I'm staying away from him. So, he's obviously they're not afraid to let him throw the ball around the goal line. So he's always going to be in opportunities to score some touchdowns that way. But for some reason, man, I love Kendrick Bourne this week. He's been really good as of late. I think he can have a wide receiver, better than a wide receiver 3 weeks, slightly better. I got him closer to that wide receiver 2 range, but I think he could definitely he gets some work in the run game as well. Gets to work as a receiver. Has almost a 20% target share in this offense. I definitely like it. Hunter Henry catches touchdowns all day apparently. So especially if Jonnu Smith's out, that's more opportunities for him. And then if you're Belichick, could you really send Stevenson back to the bench?
Right. Yes, sir. Right back to the bench.
But
absolutely. That's what he went from a good game to a healthy scratch one day, I think.
Yeah. That was the
week. I think Damien got hurt with a chest injury. Stevenson came in, did well, scratch next week. Yo, nope. Right back. Damien Harris has been well. He's been really good this year, Damien Harris. So
He has, but
yeah,
I mean, Stevenson in his one game as a starter,
really
looked
good.
better than Harris had, I think, all season. I mean, he was average
Catch the
5
ball as
yards a
well.
carry, catches the ball, so he
Yeah.
brings versatility to the offense. And he's a big back. It's not like this is a small back. Like, he's 250 pounds. Like, this is a big back. So, like, I don't.
Maybe in this type of game they could both eat.
No, totally. Because I
yeah.
mean, like I said, they throw the ball 40% of the time in neutral game script on early downs. That means they're running the ball 60% of the time on those other instances. So there's some opportunities here. I think they could both see, 10 plus, 15 plus carries in a given week, depending on how the game script goes. And 6.5 point favors. You and I both picked them to cover. So this game script leads to both backs being playable here. I just, again, if you tell me they both get the same amount of carries, Ramondre Stevenson is probably going to end up with more yards.
I think Ramondre has more upside because he can also has that pass catching ability. One of what they're going to do, because Bowden is also involved every game too. So like it's a very interesting situation.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen to you because you got
all
running
three
backs in the league of extraordinary people. So
I'm going with Damien. Man. I'm thinking about starting him, plug him in there.
So if you had Ramondre Stevenson on your bench, let's say you don't have Damien Harris, like are you flexing him? Confidently.
I think he gives you the top he's RB3 week for me, top 30 week. I think he can score a touchdown though. So the potential of that could maybe give you a tiebreaker on some flex decisions.
And don't get me, I feel like the Patriots are they're on like a revenge tour right now. This has like inklings of like post Spygate, post Deflategate, where they
post
just want to like post Brady. Like This is Belichick saying like, oh, you don't think that I'm the best coach in the NFL? You don't think that I can turn this thing around without Tom Brady?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Like,
I agree.
Bro, they've been putting up 40, 50 points almost every week now. I think this is a trend. This is something that they are deliberately trying to do.
Yeah. With that defense running the ball, like Mac Jones getting those like high efficient lines, like a Jimmy G, just like 3 touchdowns with like 200 yards. Like he's doing what he has to do. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I could see this getting out of hand and both these running backs being viable very early. So with that being said, Greg, we've broken down the Thursday night game, but we got to give out a bold prediction.
Oh yeah, Mac Jones, 3 touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, man.
But he did that last week, Greg.
I know, back to back. Oh, it's not bold. I mean, yeah, that was
his first
time.
200 yards.
3 touchdowns. And
over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I'm gonna go over 203 total touchdowns. Maybe just like sneaks in. That'd be a great like nice QB fake handoff. Mac Jones. No one's gonna expect them to just run it in.
Okay. I think for me, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Ramondre Stevenson is the lead back for the New England Patriots.
Like he ends up having a higher running back finish.
Higher running back rush share and finish.
Ooh. Ooh. That's what's up.
That's just my guess. So it's my bold prediction. How about that?
Yeah, man. It helps. I need as long as it satisfies. It satisfies me because I have all 3 of them. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for today. Make sure you are back with us tomorrow as we do part 1, breaking down all the 1 p.m. games for Sunday. And make sure you're back later in the week as we cover part 2, break down all the remaining games and the starts of the week. So until next time, y'all, we'll catch y'all later. We're out of here. Peace.
Yeah.